This is Kreskin, and I am responding with some urgency, and I regret the fact that I did not know the scenario that I'm about to address regarding the movie Super Mario Brothers. I've been in Canada working on a movie, a documentary on my career and what have you, and did not realize the story that had broken in the industry. I just feel this is a natural for me to talk about. I owe it to respond. It is a movie that came out in April of 2023, just a few months ago, called Super Mario Brothers. It was in theaters, extremely successful, and what's interesting is the phenomena and the fact that hypnosis has been brought up with this whole scenario. I appreciate the fact that I've been referred to so frequently in comments about the what's been going on, and I really wish I could have responded sooner. A song called Peaches. It's sung by a comedian and actor, Jack Black, who incidentally wrote the song. It is highly repetitious. He's saying over and over the word peaches in the song. I gather in the movie, Peaches is someone that people are wanting to attach themselves to, they're in love with and what have you. And a villain is a person who is possibly wanted to take hold of the girl whose name is Peach, or Peaches in the movie. And then the cartoon continues with someone overcoming this villain, putting the villain in a tiny bottle, I believe, and going on with the love affair that they were aiming for. But evidently, the movie features the song Peaches, and the nature of the song is such, and I've listened to it, I would say the word peaches is spoken in the song. It sounds to me like it was spoken 10,000 times. But the beauty of the writing and the creation of the song is that it gives that feeling, the repetition that seems to reinforce it. And that's often the key for a successful projection of a theme. He's confessing, sung by the villain in the movie, and confessing his love of Princess Peach. The song has people believing that they are in a hypnotic state for a number of reasons. Because if you've heard the song a lot, and bear in mind, and the key thing is that I can remember most vividly about it, is that it isn't the sentences in the song, it isn't the phrasing, it's this over and over phrase and word, peaches, 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 peaches. Peaches, it's so redundant. It's almost like you are broadcasting and brainwashing and pounding into someone's mind something that's going to inevitably enter their subconscious, their unconscious mind. Because you do something like that, it would be like if you were working on some mill, working outside, sweeping grass or putting grass together again, and in the background someone were saying a certain phrase over and over and over again, or a certain song over and over again. You'd be hearing it even when you're not listening to it. And that's what's happening now. The song was so effective in the movie that people were hearing it even when they were not listening to it. And after a while, when you do speak about something that's been on your unconscious mind, you tend to say it. If anything, this reflects something which I've noticed less and less in modern society in the past decade or so, and that is that people no longer are humming songs, whistling songs and what have you. Down the street when I was a kid, when I was going to college, maybe and even 20 years ago, you'd hear people humming a current song. That is not the case anymore, because people are spending so much time watching a box, looking at the box, listening to the comments of the box, and not hearing even melodies around them. In credit to the writing of the song, and it's a definitely credit to the writing of the song, this is one that has taken off, and it's taken off so successfully that it's now become part of the unconscious behavior of people's thinking. And you got to give Jack Black credit for it, because while he's not a professional hypnotist, and I wouldn't credit him quite with such, he's a brilliant, brilliant person in writing this kind of song, which then became not only automatic, not only become part of the unconscious, but became almost an obsession with people. Because, think of this, the character in the movie and the title of the song is something that you are furthermore reminded of when you walk into a restaurant or you walk into a store that sells fruit and what have you, and you see the peaches. You mean to tell me you weren't going to be thinking of peaches? You sure as hell were, because that would trigger off the song even further. It's a stroke of brilliance to have a title and a theme as part of it, because people after a while are going to wonder, when they're preoccupied, when they're worried, when they're tired, maybe they're shopping when they just don't feel up to things right now, and they feel a little bit tired, and they find themselves seeing the peaches, thinking of the song, hearing it, and wondering if they're not in a trance. Remember this, folks. In major motion pictures through the years, whether the movie is Dracula, whether the movie is Frankenstein, what have you, often the villainous character in the movie becomes a fascinating obsession in our lives. I love Gothic horror stories, and I think there's no more fascinating character than this man who has hypnotic powers to control people by the name of Count Dracula. Let's get the movie credit. Incidentally, I plan to, in certain performances in which I have people volunteering on stage, take advantage of the song, and with a few dozen peaches, will you see, you might see this sometime on television, what I plan to do with peaches. All I can say is, folks, you're not going to forget the movie. You're not going to forget my commentary, and you're not certainly going to forget the title and the word and the name, Peaches. What can I say, folks? To be continued. And what a taste this has.